We've got to get, yeah, right. Okay. Well, if you are out there, I'm sure someone out there somewhere. Oh dear.
There's 4 people watching.
Hello, everybody. If you can hear us, if you can see us, even. Right. My name's Steve, and
World's in.
Hi, Michael, and we've got Jackie Akers here, and we have Terry Hawes. We are Terry. Come on, wave, Terry. and Idaho Doctor himself, Marcus Crawford. Right, we have got another guest tonight. So without further ado, I'll try and actually show this video.
Oh, that's me just speaking to you.
Welcome to the Drone Seekers live show. It's Clive. Clive, wherever you are. Bring me on. Clive, there we are.
There he is.
Hi, Clive.
Evening.
How you doing?
How are we doing? Well, good, thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Right, okay, right. So who we've got in the house so far? Steve. Hi, Steve. Steve dear, or taxi driver Steve. And Ant's World. Who's Ant's World? Anyone know?
He's come from Pixie's channel. He's a friend of Pixie's channel.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome abroad. Yeah. Borders. That's Brian. Brian's in the house.
Yeah.
Jackie's here. Richie's back again. So, okay, right. So what have we been up to this week? Anything exciting? Have we been out flying every week in the drones?
Yes.
Nope.
I bet Marcus has, don't you, Marcus?
Yeah, Jackie would have done.
Huh. Yeah, I've done some flying.
Jackie's done some flying.
Yeah.
So I did actually. I did quite a high flight from my garden because the builders 2 doors up were making such a noise, and I thought I'll have a quick look and see what they're doing. And they were clearing the road with their excavators. So that's my flying this week.
Well, I had a little fly off the terrace, but all the lettuces have gone, so I just basically chased some tractors that were ploughing over the field. So that was my entertainment this week.
You were flying.
Yeah, gonna fly.
Yeah.
No goats. So, Clive, you're from is it Southport?
Near Southport, Ormskirk.
Near Southport, Ormskirk. That's it. So it's up there.
Yeah,
it's not north.
The accent give it away.
It's the accent. And I know it's Cabby Steve, yes. Cabby Steve.
Yeah.
I'm just reading the message. Michael Wright. I'm not sure who Michael. Anyone know Michael Wright?
No. I know Stephen. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Hey, Josh.
Yeah,
Parks and Tech. That's QC guy.
Huh?
Chris. Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, we're getting there. Well, there was we've got to sort of get the flow of the show sort of going, sort of with the intros and whatever. But I think that sort of comes with time, doesn't it? You know.
Yeah, we've got our intro down to a pat. We just go, "Are we live? Are we live?"
What we need is a spy. We need someone to go.
Yeah. And I've got the alarm set today for 9 o'clock. So
Hey, Steve, I'm going to take some responsibility for that. I'll get with Bill, the drone reviewer, because he used Zoom and he was able to put links out there before the show goes live and all that. And he may even be watching now. So we'll get that figured out. I'll get with him and figure out what we need to do.
Cool.
I know in YouTube you can actually schedule a show, but the problem is I'm not sure whether that'll work with Zoom. I don't know how it works, because obviously with Zoom you go from Zoom to YouTube, so and you can schedule them both, but whether they clash or not, I don't know. So we'll have to work on that one. And
sorry, Steve, can I cut in? Do I have to press this live on YouTube top right to bring in the chat and everything?
If you go on the top there, it'll take you to a YouTube channel. But the other thing, you make sure you turn the volume down on the YouTube channel, otherwise you'll end up with all sorts of noisy sort of 25 conversations going on at once.
Okay, I'll have a go. Cheers.
When you go to the YouTube channel, you'll see the screen appear. If you just go where the actual video is on there, there's a speaker button down there. You'll see that there.
Right.
Buzzing. I know quadcopters.
Yeah, I'm saying good evening.
That's right, Marcus. You carry on.
Even though it's good afternoon, I put good evening.
That's right. It's fair. So we have got times decent here. It's just gone 8 o'clock p.m. here.
9 o'clock in Spain.
Just got 9 o'clock in Spain. Marcus has got just about 1 p.m. in Spain.
1 p.m. Mountain Time. Yeah.
Wow.
Mountain Time. There we are. So a bit of a time lapse here, but because Marcus I'm jealous because Marcus has still got the rest of the day.
YouTube's not
Yeah.
Okay.
Clive's still got daylight.
Well, Clive's still got daylight as well. What?
Yeah.
Well, we've got. It's very, very little daylight will go out there now. But
that was his twilight, isn't it, Jackie?
Yeah, it's going now, isn't it? Rapidly.
There's a possibility.
Quick here.
There's just a possibility that I might get a drone in the air yet today.
Hey.
I might do, but as long as I know where the red lights are flashing, I'll be able to see it.
Which one are you going to fly, Marcus?
Well, so I got a few choices. So just a few.
Really?
So I kind of been messing around lately with some of the lower priced, close to toy grade drones. One of my goals is I'd love to find a drone that I can recommend to people that's like right around $200 that will take reasonable video. Doesn't have to be great video, but at least stabilized video. Haven't found one yet. The cheapest drone that I've found that takes what you would call video that you could use is the original Hubsan Xeno. You get below that and they're all a little shaky. But I did order the Mavic Air too. I want you to know that.
I must admit, I watched Tom's Tech Time, and I do love his videos, and because he's straight to the point, he tells you whether this drone is a good drone or not. And I must admit, it's if I was looking for another drone, I'd be very tempted. But to be honest, I don't get enough time to fly one drone, so I
need a second one.
doing here at the same time, you know.
Yeah, I agree with you about Tom's Tech Time. His review, I think, was one of the best of that Mavic Air 2. He does a great job, and like you said, Steve, he gets right to the point, and he went through all of the details of that drone, and that was one of my favorite reviews as well.
Yeah, I think it's
So
about you, Terry, you sort of looking at getting another drone in, or what was you looking at?
I was looking at a Bumblebee to do ski route, but I'm taking
Marcus has got one.
twice.
No, he hasn't.
I haven't got it yet. No, I saw the wagging finger then.
Yeah, it's one he hasn't got.
Oh, I think that's awesome, Terry. I can't wait to see you get that thing. I just don't think, in fact, I know I don't have the talent to fly an FPV drone like that, but it'll be, yeah.
I bet I could fly an FPV drone for about 5 seconds before it ends up in a puddle somewhere.
I don't know. I just want to try it.
Follow Jackie's spark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
On his way to Morocco. You still got your spark, Clive?
Yep, I have indeed.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get it out.
Do you have any problems with it?
Not yet.
Oh, cool.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, mine just started going into ATI mode all the time, and then it flew away.
So that was an update, though.
Jackie, what you're telling us is you do know how to fly FPV. If it was in ATI mode, you were flying FPV.
No, I definitely can't fly FPV.
But she didn't choose it. She didn't choose ATI mode. It chose ATI mode. I have had that once when we went to the canyon once. I had that with my Mavic. It just, and you can see in the video where instead of sort of like with the GPS hold, it just started drifting. I thought, hey, where are you going? So I thought, well, I'll see how this goes. And I think in the finish, I felt hit the chicken button. I returned home.
Oh, once mine went into ATI mode, the return to home button didn't work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why it just flew off.
Did the bumblebee, didn't it?
It certainly did.
That video was just stunning. I mean, it was that Terry, you were the one that captured it, right?
Yeah, accidentally on his GoPro.
Yeah.
Backwards. He was flying his Mavic with his GoPro on it backwards. Just
yes, because I was flying with goggles as well because I wanted to get the right shot that I wanted. It just happened to be in line with Jackie's flight path.
Oh God!
Terry, in the afternoon when you text me to say I've got evidence of your drone going into the sea.
Yes.
Do you know where I was at that point?
You was out looking for it, weren't you?
I've gone back.
I could have told you where it was.
Yeah.
Well, as I was saying to you last night, though, Jackie, showing the expression on your face when the drone. I mean, if that had been me, I'd been sort of like, I don't think you could have recorded what I would have said. Not put it on YouTube anyway.
We'd been out a couple of weeks previously, hadn't we, Jackie? When we went across to the caves at Recaral, and we ended up searching for Sparky with my Mavic.
3 flyaways, didn't I?
3 flyaways she had, yeah.
It wasn't a happy drone at the end. It wasn't working at all well, was it?
Well, that had to be a bad feeling, but I've got to ask you about one of your videos, and I know Terry was in it, but Jackie, it's the one where your Spark was down on the side of a cliff. And Terry was holding you by your foot, and who else was with you? They're holding you by your legs.
Steve Payne. Steve Payne was left leg, I think, and Terry was on the right leg.
I wanted to film, so I let go of you.
Because I had the Spark within my reach. Yeah, the 2 guys were dangling me down the cliff, and just as I went to reach for it, I knocked a stone with my hand. The stone knocked the Spark, and the Spark then went tumbling down into the bottom of the creek.
Oh, geez.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we just had to go for relationships, didn't we?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, it made for a really entertaining video.
It certainly did.
I think it was staged. I think it was all staged.
You couldn't have planned that.
You got me singing, didn't you, Jackie?
Throw your Spark down there. We'll work out. We'll try to rescue you. International rescue.
Poor old
Golden seekers to the
poor old Indiana drone. Never mind. Anyway, Clive, I'm glad your Spark's still safe and behaving.
For now, I've not heard it out for about 3 months.
Chad.
Yeah.
Welcome.
But one of the best trips we've had was when we went to Tibby Dam. Now, I'd done a recce there, and I drove down to it initially and knew that it was quite a steep hill, but didn't realise it was about 3.5 miles long. So I said to Jackie, look, we'll take our electric bikes, and Steve and
Linda's, didn't I?
They'll take their own bikes. Oh, well, honestly, the route down was fabulous. It was a really fast ride down, and they couldn't come back, could they? We had to leave them there. It was so funny. And in the end, we had to take the 2 electric bikes and then leave you there, didn't we, Jackie?
Yeah, you left. Yeah, you and Steve took the electric bikes, didn't you, to get back up to the cars because you'd both driven, and I stayed with that. What was his name?
Kev.
Kev, that's right.
Yeah.
Kev.
This is all the fun. This is all the fun we miss, Clive. And when
Absolutely.
We
need
go
these
out,
meetings.
You guys have got to move out here.
We go
to come over, Clive, and Steve dear, he's got to come over again.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I think Steve.
Listen, I've got to tell you guys.
They were coming over.
Those of us watching your get-togethers, the Spanish Drone Seekers get-togethers, we're all nothing but jealous because you guys always have so much fun.
Live so close together, really, aren't we? So
he's really good. I mean, I don't go over to Spain nowhere near as much as I'd like to. I mean, I'd like to be there on a permanent basis, and hopefully one day. You never know. Fingers crossed. But when I go over there, I just can't wait. I mean, one of my the highlights of any trip to Spain for me is going out flying, meeting with Jackie and Terry and Steve and
Harvey.
And well, actually, I've never met Harvey.
Oh, you haven't met Harvey yet?
No.
He's
a regular now. He's moved here.
Yeah.
I'm just jealous.
Yeah, he's moved to Canipa as well.
Well, we try to do that to you, Steve. Every time we take you to different places, and Jackie and I will say, this will make him jealous.
Yeah.
As I was saying in your interview last night, Jackie, I mean, there are some. I mean, it is about the location. I mean, there are some absolutely fabulous locations, and there's plenty of them in Spain. But I think it's also
finding them, don't we?
I think it's also what you do with it as well. I think when you get a bit of footage. I mean, with me, it's like, okay, right, don't have any turns on the drone. As soon as the drone yells, cut that bit out. It's going in a straight line. Yep. I find return to home gets me some of the best footage ever. Where's the drone? I don't know. It's over there. Oh, whack.
But it was good with Sean because Sean would quite often come up with a location which he'd researched for his other channels. And of course, we'd all go down there. And then likewise, Jackie would have a look around her area. I'd do a recce around mine. And we've got some fabulous places to go to.
Steve done it, would research a load on, he'd use Google Earth, wouldn't he, and find little places. And
who's Sean?
No, Steve done it.
Oh, Steve done it,
yeah. Yeah, he used to look on Google Earth and find the...
Steve D was saying
that looks interesting, and then try and find a route to it.
Steve D was saying he's actually sold his house now, so obviously I know he'd been looking to sell his house and move to Spain. It couldn't have come at a worse time, I suppose. What are you looking at, I suppose? But
who's that sold his house?
Steve Deere.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, he sold his house. He said he's only got a spare room. Jackie, got a spare room?
I have, but I mean, it's now my YouTube studio. I haven't got any guests at the minute. So.
Yeah, well, hopefully we will see you soon, Steve. He's coming over soon. That will be brilliant.
I'm not sure. He did say that he was looking to come over, but I mean, the same with me. I mean, obviously, my trip's planned for the end of this month, actually, but I don't know what's going to happen. But the flight's still booked, the car hire's cancelled, the villa's cancelled, everything else is cancelled, apart from the flight.
So Jackie, that brings up kind of a question. So I know you have that other villa. Are you having problems renting it now, or is there somebody already in it?
It's against the law to rent them at the minute. It's the Spanish have just said no, haven't they, to the tourist trade at the minute? Yeah, so it's empty until they let us.
Didn't you say, Terry, that they're hopefully sort of looking at tourism returning by the end of September, or is that's nothing concrete? I take it. It's just
nothing's been said, but I think it will be before that, because the way things are here, they've got a firm grip of it, and things are quietening down now. As I said earlier, we've had nothing here for the last 6 days. There's been no deaths. There's been no new cases. The hospitals are empty.
I mean, the thing is, in the UK, I mean, I'm sure you watch this on UK news and whatever. You know, they come on there every night at 5 o'clock saying, "Well, we've had 6,000 new cases. The deaths have fallen. We're down to about 600 today, or the last 24 hours." I'm thinking, well, the thing is, it's pretty obvious. While the cases are still, people are still contracting the virus. Some of them people contracting it is going to lead to death, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
You know, so by now, I mean, then we're talking in the UK about next week. They're reviewing the lockdown thing. I mean, the lockdown in the UK was nowhere near as strict as it was in Spain.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think he should have been, a lot more than what it was. But
they're unlocking it very gradually here, aren't they?
Yeah,
I think they're doing very well, to be quite honest. It's been tough, hasn't it?
Yeah, but it's for our own safety, isn't it?
For our own safety.
It's got to be worth it, Terry. If the system works, then it works. You know, I mean, there won't be a vaccine for a while. I mean, I know that everyone's sort of working on it. Harvey says no new cases in Matheron for 18 days, which is brilliant. You know,
brilliant.
Yeah.
That's good.
In East Anglia, we're not, it's not that bad in East Anglia. I mean, you feel pretty safe, but sort of London, well, in most big cities, as it were, I'd be frightened. What about your neck of the woods, Clive? Is it?
It's got worse up north, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's around us. They said that's actually the worst cases now around the Bolton area, so it's not too far from us. My sister's stuck out in Lanzarote. She goes for about 10 weeks at the beginning of January and was due to fly home on the 19th of April. And she can't go back to where she lives in the Isle of Man now until June.
Wow.
So she's in a rented apartment, but the guy's just doing it at €50 a week for him. So it just covers his electric and gas because he can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because she lives in the Isle of Man and her border's closed, and they're charging them £1,000 each for getting back to the Isle of Man have 2 weeks in a hotel with an hour a day out of the room, and that's all they can do.
Better off staying
so she stayed there. She's in a better place. In a better place in Lanzarote. It's been far too slack in England the way they've dealt with the lockdown.
I think out and about with Tom Planet Cloud was saying that he's in Liverpool, and he had that Liverpool. I think his force was actually 3,000 Spaniard, sort of Spaniard football fans. With the European Cup tie. And it was. I think that was quite a while ago. Well, say quite a while ago.
It's not long before it all kicked off. Literally.
That's right.
Yeah, and Cheltenham as well. They let that go ahead, didn't they? 250,000 people over a few days.
That's where my friend died. He got it and died. He was 54 and not ill or anything.
No. Has anybody been having sort of problems getting spare parts for drones or new drones or anything? Or
I'd be happy to fly mine.
Yeah. No, that's the problem, isn't it? Yeah. It seems that it takes an age to get stuff through in the post at the moment. Quite rightly so as well.
Yeah.
There's lots on, but I've been waiting about 5 weeks for some bits.
Do you use Amazon in Spain then?
Yeah, we got Amazon ES.
Well, I tend to use Amazon Germany.
Do you?
Yeah, Amazon.de. Because there's no problems then with customs or anything like that with the Spanish. It comes straight through from Germany. Excellent. And they got a really good choice of drone stuff and photographic.
The times I actually use Amazon, I must admit, I can't fault them. I mean, the times I actually ordered something, and of course on their website at the moment, they're making the declaration saying, well, look, things are a bit tight at the moment because they're looking after, well, they're putting things first, as it were.
Yeah.
The amount of times you order something and then it turns up the next day, you think,
Yeah.
they've delivered on a Sunday.
Still on it.
I told delivery on a Sunday. I'm thinking, what Sunday deliveries?
Amazon understands logistics and they understand customer service very, very well. And that's been kind of the secret to their success. The fact that you can order something and if you don't like it, you can return it for whatever reason. And they just make it very, very, they're very easy to do business with, which is huge. And yeah, a lot of drone, you know, that's what I like about them too, is that there are a lot of drone things that they have out there that a lot of sellers are selling, and it's you know, when you order there that you're going to have it within a few days. So
yeah,
that's definitely a positive.
How about Tom Planet was asking Marcus, he said, how's Marcus's new SG 906 Beast drone?
The 906 Beast.
Oh, bring it out, Marcus.
So there she is. That is all of $140 for that baby. And
Wow.
I just posted a video on it last night. So it is, let me tell you what intrigued me about that drone is it was $140. So it's cheap, right? Or a bargain. Let's not say cheap. Let's say a bargain. And it has brushless motors. It is a GPS drone, and it had a 2-axis gimbal on it. Now, the expectation is at that price, you're not going to get really nice video out of it. But what I hoped for was stabilized video with that 2-axis gimbal, just like the Spark had.
Yeah, the Spark had that.
Yeah, no such luck. I just posted a video on it last night. It flew pretty good. It flew very nicely. You wouldn't expect a lot of range or anything, but it actually flew pretty good. But the video on it was just, you know, I don't know. It's not stable. Are you guys familiar with what they call Jello in a video? Plenty of Jello in that video. Yeah.
So you hadn't just saying, I was saying earlier on about hit the return to home button, how you get the best footage. See, I'm not the only one. It's called How Not to Fly a Drone.
I noticed something with my Mavic. If I'm flying forwards and I change direction quickly, I get the screen all wobbles. Is that the Jello you're talking about?
That can be. So Jello looks like, so say you had a bowl of aspic or Jello, and you touch it and you see those waves going through it.
Yeah.
That's what Jello looks like.
Oh, right. I get that with my Mavic. If I change direction too quickly.
So I never get that with my Mavic. I mean, but one thing that someone told me, when you do get Jello, sometimes it can be the quality or the read speed or the write speed of your SD card. The camera can't keep up with each other.
I've got an Extreme, a SanDisk Extreme. So I got the one you can get.
I mean, it's not. I think that is the 4K one, isn't it? I mean, you need a 4K.
Must be my flying.
What's this?
Yeah, you'll have to slow down, Jackie.
Yeah.
Oh, he said it was 34.5 degrees C. Yeah, it was 34.5 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday.
Where?
Still is in here.
Harvey's over in Spain. Is that his Harvey, isn't it? Harvey 8774.
Oh, he can't drive his car. He can't fly. Oh, come on, Harvey.
He says, "Let me out of here."
Dude.
I'm not sure you can drive your car. You should go to the supermarket. Okay.
Hey, so if we're on the subject of SD cards, so here's a 64 gigabyte SanDisk Ultra, and you see on there 80 in big letters. So that's the write speed to it, 80 gigabytes. So that's pretty good. And most drones, that'll be just fine. But some of the really high, this card was about $12, I think. Now here's another one, a SanDisk Extreme Pro. So look at the write speed on that one, 272, and this guy was $65. So
So, Marcus, that one you've got there, the cheaper one, does that say it's for 4K recording or not?
It is. It is a U3 card,
Right.
but depending on the right speed of your drone, in other words, if you have like Terry's Mavic 2 Pro, this might be okay, but it's probably just barely would work. With yours, Jackie, I'm sure the right speed, this would be just fine.
Yeah.
But with Terry's, it's probably on the but this is the guy that you probably really want. And I actually bought this card for that new Mavic Air 2. And like I said, it's $65 for the card, but you know what? I know it'll work.
I think mine are class 10, the cards I got.
So there's a lot of class 10, Terry, and that can mean very many different things. But what you really want to look for is that right speed.
The right speed.
And then U3, and this one, I don't know if it says it on here. Yeah, you'll see right here at the top where it says UHS2.
Yes.
Right there.
Yeah.
So UHS2 is a very high speed card. If you look at your cards now, I bet a lot of them are UHS1, which is somewhat slower.
Right, I had a problem with believe it or not, of all things, my dash cam. My dash cam it's got a forward-facing camera and it's got a backward-facing camera. Now, when I first bought the thing, I was only using the forward-facing camera. And the SD card in it was okay. Now, I bought this plug-in. It literally plugs in like a USB thing port in the side of the camera. And it faces the opposite way, faces towards the back window. It's got like a little telephoto lens on it.
Is that so they can see if you're laughing when you crash?
I'll keep out of view of the phone, not texting.
Yeah, they catch you in the act.
And I turn the volume off as well because of one thing I say when I'm driving. And as soon as I plug this little camera in, like the other camera, and hit the button, because obviously it automatically starts recording. As soon as I get in the car, turn ignition, camera comes on, starts recording. That's it. It records in 3-minute segments, as it were. So if I was to see an incident or have an accident, there's a button you press, and it actually stores that 3-minute section of video, so it doesn't erase, doesn't wipe it out.
That's the same with the GoPro.
But the weird thing about it is because I had to change the SD card in it, because once I actually put this other camera in it, it was saying the SD card was no good. It was saying no good.
It's like when you get anything like a GoPro or a drone, it comes with an SD card, but it's not good enough, is it? The card it comes with.
No, it's too slow.
Slowest,
Eagle VP, how are you?
smallest one.
Yeah, and so dash cams are kind of a whole different kettle of fish, Steve, because like you said, they're always rewriting over the same over and over again, and they're very sensitive to, and it doesn't even, it's the right speed as part of it, but also the ability of that card to rewrite. And there's some cards that just don't like that. Like I have a dash cam that says, hey, they don't want you to use SanDisk cards in it. They say for whatever reason they don't work very well, and they're right. So I ended up buying a Samsung card, and it works great.
I think what it was because both cameras are actually recording in 1080p,
right?
The forward-facing one and the reverse-facing one. Well, it's not 4K, but technically it's 2K, isn't it? Because you think about 1080 plus 1080 is 2K. It's like a half of 4K. But of course, if you put an ordinary card in there, it just couldn't handle it. You said, no, I need a better card. So you had to put a 4K card in there to be obviously have a card that's suitable for writing. So it was quite weird. I actually went into a Curry's store in the UK or PC World, and I said to him, I need another SD card suitable for this. The guy said, it doesn't have an SD card. Sorry? No. He said that camera doesn't have an SD card. I said, I think you find it does.
Yeah.
I put the thing in there. What's it talking? I'm a salesman.
Crazy.
You are. I'll tell you, how about you clear off and I'll do your job for you. But yeah. But I mean, camera technology in drones and whatever. I mean, when I first got the Mavic, I thought, what a wonderful camera. The quality, everything, and I still think that to a degree. But when I look at the Mavic Air 2, and indeed of course the Mavic 2 Pro. It's got a Hasselblad camera on there. I mean, you don't get much better than that on a camera, do you? I mean, to have a Hasselblad camera was something, and to actually have one on a drone is like, wow,
it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
my best camera is my GoPro Hero 8. The colours are amazing on it.
Mm.
The color profile on the Hero 8 is just amazing, isn't it, Jackie?
Yeah.
I know, I love it too.
Don't need to do any editing. It's perfect.
I remember actually buying a GoPro camera. I think Aliens all said, "Oh, I've seen these little cameras." They're brilliant, very little tiny cameras. She didn't really know that. And to be honest, I'd never heard of it. So I went into a local store and I see one. I thought, "Oh, they are small. Yeah, it's a really small camera." And I bought it, and I just didn't get on with it at all. I thought, it's all right if I'm going to parachute out of a plane or go jet skiing or something. I'm not going to do any of those things. So I just sold it. I just kept it for about 2 months.
I love mine.
We use them all the time, don't we?
Yep.
I put my 7 on the top of my drone, or I'll put my 360 on top of the drone, and I use it all the time. And people have said, "Well, why did you put another camera on?" And Jackie's incident was a perfect answer.
Yeah.
Thank you, we planned it, really, didn't we?
Again, it was staged, didn't it? Jackie wanted a new drone. Jackie thought, I know.
Yeah. I'll just drown this one.
No, sorry, it's gone out of control. Goodbye, bye.
I haven't gone face to face with Craig yet, and I don't know if I'm going to carry on laughing or sort of. So I'm so sorry.
He was going to get me one for my birthday anyway, so I ended up just getting it as an early birthday present. So,
I know you get one for your birthday, can't you?
Well, no, as it turned out, I had my birthday in lockdown, so I couldn't get anything for my birthday.
Marcus, a question for you. Now, Terry's got a DJI drone. Jackie's got a DJI drone. Clive's got a DJI drone. I've got a DJI drone. I mean, you've got just loads of drones. But on a serious note, in your opinion, would you say that DJI drones are probably the best drones there are, or not?
Top of the game. Now there's some people that might argue with you that that new Autel Evo 2 is pretty good. But when you talk to the reviewers, there's people that have reviewed that one, just came out, and they say, well, you know what, it really doesn't have the flight controls like a DJI drone does. But the very top of the game right now, what I would say for a prosumer drone, in other words, for something that a consumer like us would fly, no question, is the Mavic 2 Pro. And that one is going to get replaced here, I think, by the end of the summer. We'll see a Mavic 3. Now, Terry and I both have the Mavic 2 Zoom, which is excellent. And Terry can attest, once you fly that one, I wonder why I ever fly any of my other drones when I fly that, because the flight controls on it it's just lovely. I mean, it's so easy to fly, and it's just so smooth. And of course, now the Mavic Air 2 it actually is supposed to have a better sensor, Terry, than what we have on our Zooms. So while it won't have the zoom capability, it should be a better sensor. But when that Mavic 3 comes out, that thing is really going to be the class of the field. But the short answer, Steve, is this. Yeah, nobody does it like DJI, period. End of report.
I mean, you do get people. I mean, I know, several conversations I've had with people, and I'm not sure whether they're anti-DJI drones. I mean, the trouble is, I haven't got enough experience with drones in general, because obviously both drones I've had. Well, actually, I did have a cheap and nasty sort of drone, which I paid about $150 for. It come from, is it Banggood? Is it Banggood?
Probably.
Yeah.
And the drone turned up, and it was like, is this a DIY kit? Because I mean, the casing was actually coming apart.
Well, what, you had to build it?
And I actually sort of did repair it and got it sort of working, but oh dear.
Hey, if you want a challenge, if you're looking for a challenge, right here, the SP906. But you know what? I buy those cheap little drones and I have a ton of fun putting them up in the air. It's fun. It is.
You just need an open space in case it comes crashing down.
I haven't crashed one
Worry
yet.
about it if it's a cheap one, do you?
Yeah, but even so, I mean, if you pay, I mean, how much was that SG906?
That was I paid $145 for that drone.
So that's what the equivalent to, say, what, just over £100 in sterling.
Yeah, probably 100 pounds, 110 maybe.
And I suppose, I mean, what features? I mean, has it got GPS on it or whatever?
It does. So that's what's intriguing about it, and that's why I bought it. Steve, is it has, not only does it have GPS, but it has brushless motors. So the brushless motors are the ones that aren't gear drive. If you buy those really cheap drones, they have the gear drive motors on them, and they're not very reliable. Brushless motors are a big deal. And
Bernie. Guessing just showed up.
you hope for stabilized video, and that's the reason I bought this one. Is it had that 2-axis gimbal, and listen, the video camera is not going to be very good at that price. You know that at the outset. But what I was hoping for is that it would at least be stable, and it's not.
No.
Yeah.
Just when you try actually aim the camera or something, it just sort of, where are you going, drone? And it's gone. But that's what I was saying when the first time I flew my Phantom 3, though. Not remembering where the little silver switches. I thought, now is it right? I couldn't remember where it was meant to be, what position it was meant to be, because I didn't read the manual.
Steve, let me tell you how I learned how to fly a Phantom 3, and that was our friend Sean Matthews watching his video. That's how I learned to fly a Phantom 3.
Yeah, it's much easier to watch a video than read an instruction manual, isn't it?
That was my first drone, the Phantom 3. I loved it as well. I think it was a great drone.
Well, Terry, it's still a great drone even today. I mean, Sean just did a video about his Phantom 3, and is it still a valid drone? I would argue that it is. Even the standard shoots in 2.7K video, which is pretty reasonable. It's nice, stable video. You're not going to go out 2 miles with it, but it's going to take really good aerial video. It's nice and stable.
Yep.
I think you can buy it. You can't buy them new anymore, but you can buy a used one for $300 or so.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Totally agree.
I mean, and of course, in the Phantom 3 range, I mean, you had the Phantom 3, the standard one, which is the one I had. Then you get, what was it, the Advanced and the Pro, wasn't it?
So there was a difference. There was a bunch of different ones, Steve, and they had, some of them had just Wi-Fi, which the standard did. And then they had, I think the Advanced, I get them confused, but one of them had the Light Bridge technology, which was a step above Wi-Fi, and it worked better. And then they had, ultimately, I think they had a couple models that had a 4K camera on them as well.
I think Steve Dunnett had, what did he have? What was that? Sean, I remember. Sean, what was Steve's?
Yeah, he had a Phantom as well, because they were called the two Phantoms, weren't they?
That's right.
Yeah, that's
love that channel.
That's when I first met Sean and Steve. Obviously, there was the two Phantoms, and we went out one day. I said, "No, we're going to call the three Phantoms today." I'm here. You don't count. You're from the UK.
I certainly can't wait to get back out again, though. I'm missing our trips. Really am.
I must admit, yeah. I mean, it's working. I mean, I'm working from home, so it's same old, the same four walls. I mean, I'm sort of. You think, really?
Steve, I don't understand. What's this work you're talking about? I don't get it.
Well, Marcus, it's as younger people have to do.
I was seeing my Spanish dictionary work.
No, it's one of the things that you have to do. None of us want to do it. Let's face it. I mean, I think if I was coming on the lottery, I think I always said that that was my last day at work. collect the check. Bye bye. No, I mean,
what drone would you rush out and buy if you all won the lottery?
what is the big DJI drone? Is the Inspire?
The Inspire, really?
That looks cool.
Because I mean the footage with that. I mean, well, the cameras. I mean, the camera's probably worth more than like 2 Mavics, isn't it?
Is that the one where you have to have someone doing the camera and someone doing the flying?
Well, the camera rotates a whole 360, doesn't it? I mean, you haven't got you don't have to sort of spin the drone; you just spin the camera. So ideally, you want someone, a pilot flying the drone, and you doing the camera. So I'm sure you just want to fly it, but it's the quality of it. I mean, you imagine the quality of the footage.
Yeah, it's going to be
like an underwater drone.
TV quality.
Oh, did you talk about?
Yeah,
Did you ever see that? The little submarine. Well,
yeah, they look good.
Yeah, that looks.
I want one of them to go out on the paddleboard with. That'd be good.
I see a guy who I'm not sure who it was. He was actually doing a review on one of these, and he was actually looking for his drone that he'd crashed. He'd actually crashed his drone in a lake.
All right, so he got an underwater
so
one.
So he took this thing to look for his drone.
Smart.
I don't know. Not Dustin Dunhill.
Is that what it was?
So not Dustin.
It was.
Sure, it was.
It was. You know, when you watch some videos, you watch, and you think, right, okay, I've seen enough of this now. But some videos, you have to see it to the end because it's in suspense all the time. You don't know what's going on. You've got to know.
Is he going to see it?
Yeah.
Is anybody subscribed to Drone User?
No.
I tell you what, I do the online one, the electronic version, and we've got a good spread for Spanish drone seekers. A couple of months ago, with that picture that's behind Jackie, I think that was included. But it's a really good magazine. It's quite informative, and they come up with some very, very good articles. I do like it, I must admit.
I was talking to Steve Timewell, and I did ask him if he'd like to be a guest on here one night, and he agreed to it. He said, yeah, he said, I'd love to. So, I mean, just sort of come up with some questions, because obviously he's in a different league. I mean, he just travels about all over the place. I mean, he really does travel about, doesn't he? I mean, he's here, everywhere. Where was it? He went to Russia, went to the Chernobyl.
Chernobyl, yeah.
Oh, wow. Hope he had a radioactive suit on.
No, he's got 2 legs. Stop it.
Sean said that Steve had 2 Phantom Stat Advance, Phantom 3 Advance,
and then 2.
Well, the one that Steve's had that was probably my all-time favorite is when he's flying the drone down into the well, and it loses it, so it falls to the bottom of the well, and then they go get their fishing poles.
That's it.
Wheel the drone back out of the well.
Brilliant. That was in the snow wells.
Yeah.
Snow wells, yeah.
That's when he went home and got the fishing rod.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But I mean, the worst one ever, and it can happen to anyone, was where Steve was flying, and I think he just pushed his. You know, when you think just a little bit more, the battery's saying, the drone is saying, my battery's getting low. My battery's getting low. You think, I'll just push it that bit further. And Steve did that. And then, of course, his drone said, okay, right, I'm returning to home. Whack, right on a bridge.
Oh.
And the next thing you had all this drone spaghetti on the road. Didn't look good.
Oh dear.
But Steve always does that, doesn't he? When we go out, you said, Steve, where's your drone?
He's not afraid, is he?
Oh, I don't know, 3K away.
I know.
You're more than I've got, mate.
He's very, very daring. I mean, he'll do things he thinks of. I'm not going to try that. because I can guarantee if I try that, it's going to end badly. Definitely. My thoughts are, where is my drone? I mean, I think it was when we went out to those deserted houses, the half-built houses.
Oh yeah.
No, that was at
that guy came on and said, he said, "Can you move your car?" So I just walked off, just left me. I put my remote down, left the drone just hovering there. Hold on, I'm just going to land me drone. Hold on, drone, you stay there a minute. I'm just going to move the car and come back to it. Now, where's my drone? Oh.
Well, just don't lose the controller.
People don't understand what like these modern drones can do, like our DJI drones. I was out flying my Mavic 2 Zoom, and I was out at a park, and there were some guys flying remote control aircraft. So they were, of course, curious about my drone. So I walk out into this middle of the field, and I've got the controller with me, and the drone's, like you said, Steve, it's just up there hovering. And I'm having a conversation with this guy, and then all of a sudden my controller starts beeping, and this RC airplane guy says, "Well, why is your controller beeping?" I said, "Oh, my drone's gonna go land." And he said, "Well, don't you have to go land it?" I said, "Nah, I'm not worried about it. It's gonna go land over by my car. It's fine." And he was just stunned. Yeah. So we walked back over the car, and there's the drone sitting right next to my car there.
I mean, I must admit, I've always been impressed with my Mavic. I mean, touch wood, I don't think I've ever had a time where I've actually told it to, come back to return to home, and actually. Normally, what I do is all comes down, then I just sort of I'll land it myself. But I mean, sometimes you just don't. Okay, you want to land, you do it yourself. It's going to land, and to me it lands on exactly where it took off. I proved this once. I was out with Steve and Sean actually, and I put 4 stones where the legs were. And when
it landed back on them.
It more or less landed on those stones. Seriously, yeah. I mean, I just went, wow.
Well, I think one of the best facilities on the Zoom is if you've got it up sort of 100 meters or whatever, and you can't see it, just turn the light on the bottom.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Does the light come up? Oh, there it is, yeah. And of course, everyone's, yeah, look, he's got a light.
Yeah. Where the rest
Marcus,
of us
it's great, isn't it?
It is. So I have one of those buttons programmed on the bottom to turn that light on, so I can just hit that button.
Yeah, that's what I've done. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, mine were on the back of the controller, I think, and you just press one of the buttons and the light comes on. It's fabulous. And it doesn't need any battery power at all. In fact, when we were in the cave, Jackie and I were flying in a cave, I used it then to illuminate the bottom of the cave.
Yeah, it did. It lit it up really well.
Lit it up perfectly, didn't it?
Yeah.
That took some courage, Terry. I'm going to tell you, brother. I don't think I have that kind of courage.
This is why actually I want to get a Cinewhoop, because I can fly. I used to fly model aircraft, and I think I might be able to do it. And certainly in the cave it was fine, and along the canyons I've flown quite happily.
Yeah, I mean, you flew Tibby Dam right up close to the dam, didn't you?
Yeah, and then I filmed you from a kilometre away and followed you along the ridge at your direction, I must admit, but we was about a kilometre away, and Jackie was on top of a ridge, and Steve and I filmed her and Nick walking along and waving and close up as well.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight, Terry. So what you're saying is that Jackie is an influence on you. So she's been influencing you to take risks.
We know how that ends, don't we?
What it is, he actually trusts me enough.
I trust her now.
Up on a cliff.
Our next venture, though, is
directing him in.
Yeah.
Going like that when he was.
But our next venture will be to go to this dam at Tibby, where you've got this long cycle ride all the way down. And what we're going to do then is do a follow me, and then let the drone follow us down. And then we go up to this other place called the Via Verde, which has got long tunnels and viaducts, and to fly along those. So that will be interesting. That will make a really good film.
Yeah.
You got some quite nice.
Free to do it.
You got some quite nice areas around your way, Clive. I mean, some of the footage I've seen of yours. I mean, some sort of, you know, again. I mean, have you got a lot of open space around there? I'll take it you have.
Yeah, I've got a half an hour from where I am. There's quite a lot of open space. I like it up in Morecambe, where my mother and father-in-law live, and I'm not one for taking chances, but I put the Phantom 3 out over Morecambe Bay, about half a mile out. So I was quite happy with that. But then I chickened out and brought it back. So
you wasn't heading towards some cruise line or something, or doing a Wavy Bird special. Come on then, bring it on.
Oh, do you know, I love watching them. I absolutely love watching those cruise ships. I think they're fabulous. No matter how he does it, absolutely superb.
Yeah.
Totally agree. So that brings up a question, and I'm going to ask all of you this question, and I'll start with my answer. My question is, what is the farthest you've ever flown a drone? And I can tell you that I took my FEMI X8 SE, and I was out at a reservoir, so it was over water. It wasn't going to cause any issues for anything, and I flew it almost 2 miles.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, mine's been over a reservoir, and I think I did 2 kilometers. So I really did chicken out then, and I pressed the return to home button and sat there, almost cried. Oh, I lost it.
I'm trying to work out what mine is, because I think mine's got to be, I'd say, about 2 miles.
That's good.
My distance was not with platypus, but with my Spark, was when I did that range test, and I went.
Oh yeah.
As far as I could over the letters.
Jackie.
Hey?
Yours underwater.
Yeah, it's gone the furthest now, hasn't it?
I wonder where it is now.
Halfway to Morocco, I think.
Yeah.
Because I must admit, the furthest mine, when I said about flying out 2 miles, I told you when it was, Jackie, was when we went to that with the dog. We spoke about this, didn't we?
Yeah, Pedrera Reservoir.
Because the reservoir's over there, and I wanted to do some footage, and I thought, well, the reservoir's right over there. So, I mean, you had to fly over there first, and then you're flying over a reservoir. And so mine was all over water. I was thinking, yeah, okay.
If anything goes wrong, you've got a long walk.
I think that's a good site to fly from.
It is. There's just nothing there.
There's nothing there. And it's not a nature reserve. And there's one house behind us. But you've got the opportunity to go behind, and there's caves up in the hill behind us.
Yeah, we should do that as well.
And you've got the caves as well. And you've got Casada fish and chips when you're finished.
Excellent. I know. Definitely gets a thumbs up from me.
We need to find out how far Clive has flown.
It was about 3/4 of a mile towards a waterfall in the Lake District. And he had an audience at a time, so I was a bit nervous.
Oh, scary.
But but they loved the footage. To see it on the iPad screen, they were blown away.
That's another thing.
What's the furthest ever flown a drone? Admit it, guys.
Was it in the line of sight?
Bye, Sean. Catch up with you soon. No, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what people on here, whether they're going to admit it.
I know. I think a lot of the times when you first get your drone, you want to see how far it goes, and then you start to become sensible.
I think I was the opposite way around. I took me a long while. I wanted to know that I can actually, because the theory is with a drone, okay, so I've got a Mavic and it can do this and it can do that, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's a brilliant drone. It hit return to home and it comes back. The question is, what if it fails? What if that doesn't happen?
Do you know what? I never use the return to home, because as soon as it bleeps and says the battery's running out, I panic and fly it back as quick as I can. Yeah. I've never just pressed that button. I don't know why.
I've been curious whether it'll work or not, so I've done it.
Bye, Steve.
I like it all the time now. I think it's great. Another thing that you brought up, Clive, was showing bystanders the actual film that you've shown, that you've filmed. And my experience, like with Spanish people especially, I always ask in broken Spanish if they mind me flying. When we were at Timmy Dam, Linda and I, we went there, and there was a couple walking across the top of the dam. Showed them the drone. No problem, no problem. And when we finished, we were walking back and showed them the footage.
Yeah, they love it.
We just absolutely loved it. Really did. And that to me was worth it.
It's good promotion as well.
Yes. Yeah. And I think you've got to include people if they're there in your vicinity. In fact, when we were at Elche Swamp with Sean, there was lots of Spanish people walking up and down, and they were all mindful of the fact that we were flying there, as were we mindful of them whilst we were flying. And they were all stopped and looked, and we just brought them into it, and it was good.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
On the whole, they're interested. Most people are positive about it.
Yeah.
I think most people,
if you approach them and explain or whatever, people are interested.
I think most people I've actually come across something that I've always been conscious if I'm flying a drone and people are around me, as in like that they walk into my line of sight or whatever. I'm always wondering, people, well, what's going to happen here, And so I tend to think, I know, I'll just land my drone. I think that's the best way to do it, and see what the reaction is, because you just don't know. Some people can be very sort of like, oh yeah, great, yeah, and I'll be like, oh yeah, what did you use that for? Then spying on the neighbours, you don't know what sort of person you come
No.
Right, well, it's just gone 9 o'clock in the UK, and it's just gone 10 o'clock. It's just gone 2 o'clock.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap it up from there. And,
Marcus is going flying. I'm going to bed.
Marcus, so just to get it right, Marcus is going flying. I'm going to have a cup of coffee and think about and watch some TV.
I'm having a glass of red.
There you go.
I've got a shandy.
I've got an empty glass. It really is empty.
Cheers, guys.
Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
Well, actually, mine was Pepsi Max, but it had brandy in it as well. So,
Hi, Stephen.
Right. Okay. So, thank you very much, everyone, for watching tonight, and we sort of kept you amused or whatever. And same time, same channel next week. Right, guys? So
looking forward to it.
Thanks, guys. Good to see you.
Good night, all.
Take care.
Great show.
Marcus.
Bye.
Jerks.
Bye bye.
It's Dave.